Hi there. I want to share with you a little bit about the shaking of the earth. We have a lot of videos and a lot of people talking about the end days, and yes, I agree, times are getting worse. But I want to try to put some things in perspective a little bit. And God is our creator. He made the heavens and the earth, and He knew what was going to happen, and He was predicting these things for us and to look at the sign of the times. And I want to add some science into this to kind of help people understand what's going on so they won't get confused with what the world talks about. For thus says the Lord of hosts, once more in a little while I am going to shake the heavens and the earth, the sea also, and the dry land. Therefore I will make the heavens tremble, and the earth will be shaken from its place at the fury of the Lord of hosts in the day of his burning anger. Isaiah 13:13. And the stars of the sky filled of the earth as a fig tree casts its unripe figs when shaken by a great wind. Revelation 6:13. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When its branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise ye, when ye shall see these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall not pass away, or shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So the reason why I'm bringing all this up to you is because God said these things will happen. So, but I want to bring, his beautiful creation into it, and part of his creation is cyclic. And I want to help you understand we're entering into what we call a solar minimum, and that solar minimum makes things colder and hotter. And then at the same time, we're also moving the earth. We're moving into this cloud or out of this cloud. And that's why I put the link below, because these scientists have been really watching this for a long time. And, we don't know the day or the hour, really. But in God's glorious work, He always has a plan. And His sense of eternity is completely different than ours in the sense of time. So I just want us to be aware and watchful and understand and not be deceived by the way the world tells us these things are happening. Don't get confused. Alrighty, here's some graphs I'm going to show you. Okay, so here we are. We're entering into a mini ice age. This is a graph of the history of all the ice and its cycles. And then here we have another historical graph from way back in, 2500 BC to 2040. And it also shows the cyclic Arctic ice, the warming and the cooling. This is a natural cycle. So I don't want you to be deceived by the things the world says with CO2 and all these things that we're doing. This is natural. This is pre-satellite era from the 1900s to the year 2000. This is our melting. It's a cyclic. Okay, on the other aspect is the solar spots. The solars provide energy for the Earth. We're right now going into what they call the Dalton minimum, and you see the arrow on the right. It's past the year 2000. In the 1800s and the 1900s, we had some minimums as well, and this shows the temperatures of the Earth. So we're going to get cooler and colder, that sort of thing. And this is where we're at. Okay, again, we're looking at solar activity cycles and sunspots. If you look at the graph here, you see how it just goes up and down, okay? In 2020, we have 2018 where the black line is to the red line. That's where we are. That's what's happening now. And that's why we're getting colder winters and hotter summers. So when we get hotter summers and colder winters, we're entering, they call it a global warming, and it's both, okay, colder and hotter. But the ice is melting. This is the Greenland ice core in the last 10,000 years. You see this cycle, and you see this continues. You see the little ice age was right there, and we're running into something similar to that. So as you can tell by the graphs that, our Earth is cyclic. Everything is. Even our very lives are. We're born as babies, we turn back to dust, and, we grow older and things happen. So, don't fear and don't become obsessed with the last days. Just be aware. Don't take your eyes off the Lord. Pray all the time. Pray for those around you. Do the Lord's will. Ask for Him the Lord's will. And just don't forget about Him. Put Him first before all things, and He will give you the understanding, the direction, everything that you need, and the peace and the fellowship. We're here. We need to encourage each other. All right? Just click on that link. I really admonish you to do that. It's really interesting. All right. Love you. Bye.